Well, hello everyone and welcome to 48 Blitz Ot. We got 48 sports director Carl Prather. He's going to be joining on momentarily for a recap of week 5 of high school football. Y'all, can you already believe it? Week 5 already in the books. We are halfway there into the playoffs, which is so hard to believe for me. It just feels like yesterday we were gearing up for week 0. And now it is already week 5 in the books. And this week, when you're looking across the Tennessee Valley, you look at all the scores. There were 31 games we counted here across the Tennessee Valley, and 12 of those 31 games were shutouts. So tonight was certainly the night for shutouts, and I definitely have to shout out all the teams that recorded a shutout tonight. Of course, that is Coleman, that is Arab, Ardmore, Pisgah. That was the 48 game of the week. Pisgah beating the Randolph Raiders 29-0. That was an impressive win for Pisgah right there. Decatur 44-0 over Lee. They shut out Lee. Another shutout, Austin over Florence, Clements over Tanner, Cherokee over Belgreen, Woodville, Collinsville, Falkville, and Whitesburg Christian. And those were the 12 shutouts out of the 31 games. And that is quite crazy to think about here in week 5. About 39% of all the games played here in North Alabama were in fact shutouts. So that is definitely something we have to take note of. And also, how about those Athens Golden Eagles? I know all of you watching right now, you are dedicated fans to Beyond the Lights Athens, which of course streams right where you are watching 48 Blitz Ot. Right now it is streamed every Thursday night at the Athens Golden Eagles. They keep flying. Tonight they beat the Hazel Green Trojans 39-14. So shout out Coach Gross and those Athens Golden Eagles. Some great football played here tonight across the Tennessee Valley. And it was a cold, wet one. That is what football is all about after all. You have to get used to the elements when you play football. And that's what football is all about. Play in that not so nice weather, that muddy weather. That's what football is all about. So definitely an interesting week here in week 5 this week. But I want to talk about some of the other scores here across the Tennessee Valley. And out in Sand Mountain, Sylvania defeated Plainview 28-14. Coosa Christian defeated Fife, a stand-up win for Coosa Christian, 29-2. Holding Fife to only a safety there. So congratulations to Coosa Christian. A rivalry game in Limestone County, West Limestone and East Limestone. Usually a fun rivalry there. East Limestone getting the win 27-7. Geraldine defeated Boaz tonight, statement win. Carl will have a bit more for you all later on in 48 Blitz Ot on that game. But yes, Geraldine over Boaz 42-20. And also we got to talk about Spain Park and James Clemens. Spain Park defeating the James Clemens Jets 34-24. But if you are watching at home right now and you were at a game tonight, or even if you weren't at a game, shout out your teams. That is what we want to know here at 48 News. We want to know who you're rooting for, who is your team here across the Tennessee Valley. Did they get the win tonight? Did they fall short? Just let us know. Let me check YouTube. I am not seeing any comments right now on Facebook, and not seeing any quite yet on YouTube, but that is all right. But again, definitely week 5 is a week for shutouts. There's just no doubt about it. So many shutouts, and it is crazy when you look at it. Like 12 of those 31 games were shutouts, which is very impressive there. Let's go through some of the other scores here across the Tennessee Valley. Let me pull it up real quick. Bear with me 1 second. Do you guys check our website to go to our scoreboard? If you do, that is totally awesome. We update them in real time as the games come in. But let's go through some of the other scores. These were games that were played yesterday. Sparkman over Mae Jemison, 31-7. Hartselle with a shutout win over Woodlawn last night. Hartselle getting that win 51-0. Deschler beating Colbert County. That was 28-21, a closer game there. Was only within 7. We also have Lawrence County. They defeated Haleyville 34-27. And I think it is time now to send it over to 48 Sports Director Carl Prather. You guys enjoy 48 Blitz OT, sponsored by Alabama Concrete. You all enjoy.
You're watching 48 Blitz OT, sponsored by Alabama Concrete.
North Alabama and the Tennessee Valley, what's going on? Big shout out to my teammate there, AJ Weiss, back there on the 1s and 2s in our CTV studios, getting you prepped and prepared for right now. It's our 48 Blitz show, sponsored by Alabama Concrete. Big shout out to our sponsor for this year's show. I'm your host, Carl Prather. Those new on our streaming platforms across digital and social media, we welcome you to this show. This is all about our high school student athletes and their amazing performances across the valley each and every Friday night. And for this week, Thursday night, we had a lot of Thursday night football games rescheduled due to all of the incoming weather from Hurricane Helene. So we had a handful of games on Thursday. And of course, we still had our normal slate of football games on Friday. Look, if you want to interact with us, feel free to hop on any of our streaming platforms, YouTube, Facebook, our 48 Sports Zone app, any of those respective platforms. You can interact with yours truly as we get you prepared and recapping, more importantly, a amazing Friday night of high school football. I got all my crew in TMP. Who do I got in there? I got Clark in there. I got Paul. I got Katie. Paul's not here? Oh. Katie, Clark, and Tyler. Yep, I got Javon out there. You just saw AJ Weiss as well. And then all of our amazing photographers that cover all of these games throughout each and every Friday, especially tonight because we had to deal with so much wet weather. One of those wet weather games was over at Sports Med Field, and it was our 48 Blitz game of the week. So you had two teams that love to score a ton of points. On one end of the spectrum, you had a number 1 team in the state in Class 2A in the Pisgah Eagles, making the trek from Sand Mountain all the way down here to Madison County to take on the Randolph Raiders. Both teams love to score, averaging at least 30 points a game for their respective seasons. My teammate and sports anchor Cam Durr was there for the entirety of the game. And as a recap,
the Class 4A Randolph Raiders hosting Class 2A's number 1 team, the Pisgah Eagles, on this rainy Friday night. And it affected both offenses in finding their footing. But defense stepped up big. Tyler Diorio lays out for the pick. Raiders, though, unable to cash in. Instead, a little miscommunication on the handoff, and Luke Gilbert comes up with the football on the fumble. So why not just let him have it? Gilbert, leading his teams on both sides, breaks a few tackles and heads way into Raiders territory. It's going to be marked just short of the goal line. Legion McCrary punches it in for 6. The Eagles would go up by 2 scores by the break, and Pisgah just continued to downpour on the Raiders. 29-0 the final score. Eagles fly to 5-0. Head coach Luke Pruitt pretty happy with his team at the midway point.
You know, we opened with 5, and we could have had to let down the next week. You know, in Plainview's a game that we always want on our schedule, and we didn't have a letdown coming in tonight. You know, Randolph's a really good football team, and I thought we went on a road trip tonight and handled our business. You know, and I'm proud of the guys. They've come to work every day. You know, these guys, 15, 16, 17-year-old, and they've had the business-like approach every week, and I'm proud of the way they played.
Super awesome. Congratulations to Luke Prue. You see the score right there, 29-0. Pisgah remains undefeated. A second straight year, starting 5-0 to their respective year. They got a special group out there in Pisgah for sure. So congratulations to them. Listen, Randolph's still good too. Don't get me wrong. They're going to compete in Class 4A as well under head coach David Lloyd as we begin the trek toward the march to the respective playoffs in Class 4A and 2A for those respective teams this upcoming Friday. We had one region game in our area tonight, and man, you couldn't ask for anything better. Two proud programs, two proud communities. On one end of the spectrum, you had the Austin Black Bears from Morgan County. On the other end, you had the home team tonight in the Florence Falcons in Lauderdale County. Something had to give both of these two teams in a important Class 7A Region 4 matchup. So Class 7A, for those that are new to our area, may not understand how our classifications work. The lower the classification, the smaller your respective school may be. All of our classifications are distinguished through school enrollment, how many kids you have in your school. So 1A obviously would be your smallest, and Class 7A would be your highest. And in 7A, we had two of our best programs in the Valley in action tonight. So let's head to Brawley Stadium from earlier tonight. Austin High School at Brawley Stadium, getting ready for their contest tonight. The weather in this contest was no better. Listen, that was a story across the valley tonight. Just wet weather, slippery hands like this. The Black Bears quarterback Jason Davis going to watch the ball fall. Florence's Tayshawn Jones going to take the opportunity for a turnover. Davis could not be deterred though. He would make several runs for his team, showing what a playmaker he can be when given the chance, earning a first down for Austin. First half ended 0-0, but not for lack of trying. How about Cade Davis from Florence? A few tricks up his sleeve, going to hand the ball off to Kaylon Triplett. Goes down the field, nice gain there. But to Davis, you're going to wind up and throw a long ball to Jackson Potter. That kid can play, dude. He's made a lot of plays for Jeremy Pruitt and the company. Austin would get this shutout tonight and roar to a big win, 20-0. They remain undefeated on the year. And joining me right now, we have the pleasure of hearing from none other than the head coach of the Austin Black Bears, Jeremy Perkins. First off, Coach, congratulations on a great win tonight. Your team remains undefeated, but as you know, each and every Friday, it brings new challenges and storylines. For you to go on the road and take on a very talented Florence team and come away with a win, you have to be happy for your program and, of course, your kids.
Oh, absolutely. I thought our kids handled the situation well. They didn't let the weather distract them or be a deterrent. And defensively, we played outstanding, one of our better defensive efforts all season and actually the last couple of years. Coach Welch and our defense coordinator, defense staff did an excellent job preparing them. And our defensive players executed well. And offensively, we did what we needed to do, and we were good in the kicking game, which is a big concern on a rainy night.
You know, I was going to ask you that, Coach, because everyone and all of our student athletes had to deal with the elements if you're playing tonight. I did want to ask, when you're dealing with wet weather, elements are not ideal. How impressed were you with your young men to be able to kind of withstand that, understand that you have to deal with it like the other team has to deal with it, but find a way to come away with small victories throughout the game that ultimately ended up in a victory and a W in the win column?
And they handled it well, but we talked about it all week long. We knew there was definitely potential for wet weather. So we talked about circumstances. Don't ever let the circumstances dictate who you are or what you do or what you bring to the table. And, you know, it doesn't matter the circumstances of the game. It's 4 quarters. It's on a football field 100 yards long, 53 yards wide. And, you know, both teams are going to have to overcome whatever difficulties are out there. So they handled it well. They embraced it. I think they really had fun playing in the rain.
You know, we discuss a lot about your quarterback, who's outstanding. You have some really talented, skilled players around him as well. But you mentioned the defense. Could you just kind of expand upon what Coach Welch and his defensive coaches did tonight to make not only an amazing game plan for his program on that side of the football, but as a whole for you as a head coach to see that outstanding effort from your defense tonight?
Well, Coach Welch is a perfectionist. He demands perfection from the defensive players. He does an outstanding job in making sure they're prepared for every element of the game. They work extremely hard to come up with a great plan. The kids are tuned into it. They trust in it. They believe in it, and they execute it. And the whole defense staff, they work tirelessly to try to defend people, which is these days with offenses the way they are is very difficult to do. People throw so much stuff at you, and our coaches are doing a great job of preparing them week in and week out.
Big win tonight for Coach Jeremy Perkins, head coach of the Austin Black Bears. Coach, listen, I truly appreciate you joining on and hopping on with us tonight to discuss this big win. Best of luck to you for the rest of the year, and best of luck to you next week as well as you get back into region play for yet another week as you kind of make a potential push toward the playoffs. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, Carl.
Absolutely. That is the head coach of the Austin Black Bears, Jeremy Perkins. The Black Bears will take on, stand by. They're going to take on, not Florence, because they just played them. We'll get that here in a moment. But what I do know is that they're undefeated. That's a positive. And they're undefeated on the year. He just does an outstanding job, folks, year in and year out. He's been at Austin for well over a decade, and kind of a staple in not only Morgan County, but a staple in North Alabama and the Tennessee Valley when it comes to high school football. Okay, Katie and Clark, where are we going to go now? Oh, let's do some scoreboards, they say to old CP. Scoreboards, here we go. These games were from Thursday night. So remember, we discussed Thursday night, and we discussed about a handful of games being moved. A lot of our respective programs in the Valley decided earlier in the week to move these games to Thursday because of the potential threat of Hurricane Helene causing some wet weather, whether it had been early on Thursday or on Friday. We were spared, I guess we could say, for lack of a better term, that we did not have some of the most dangerous weather and tropical storm type weather that some of the rest of the southeastern part of the country had to deal with. But on your screen, Sparkman on the road against May Jemison tonight, or Thursday night in Milton Frank Stadium. They get the win 31-7. Hartselle all over Woodlawn on Thursday, 51-0. They had to go to OT over in Haleyville, but Lawrence County came away with the win on Thursday night, 34-27. Brooks got a win in Lauderdale County over at Robert Earl Grisham Stadium. They got the victory on Thursday night, 31-6. Deschler on the road against Colbert County, and the Deschler Tigers get the big victory, 28-21. Haddon gets the big win over at Westminster Christian. Listen, the Haddon Hornets got some young players. They will be a force to be reckoned with potentially if everyone obviously stays the course and, more importantly, continues to grow and develop. But the Haddon Hornets on the uptick as far as their program. They got a big win, 42-25. Sheffield, big win over Waterloo, 47-14. Rebbe made the trek just a few miles over to Mississippi to take on Belmont on Thursday night. They fall 42-14. Hackleburg, big win by 30 over none other than Phil Campbell, 42-12. Let's see, Valley. Hey, listen, Valley is undefeated in Class 1A. They made the trek over to Higdon, Alabama to take on North Sand Mountain, 20-7. Vina, big win. They are still undefeated as well. We're going to make a trek over to Vina over in the Greater Shoals area, 50-6 over Tharptown. Lexington also gets a big win, 21-7. So a big shout out to all of our winners from Thursday night. I wanted to get some of those scores in as well as those teams obviously competed on Thursday night. Remember, outside of the Florence-Austin game, as I mentioned, that was the only region game. And the only reason why that was a region game this week is because that game was rescheduled due to some wet weather a couple of weeks ago. So they rescheduled. Both of those teams had a bye week this week, decided to move it to this Friday. But all across the Valley, week 6 through week 9, it is all about region play. Teams are going to punch their tickets punch their tickets to the postseason in order to have an opportunity to reach state, where the state tournament in the Super 7 will be down at Protective Stadium in Birmingham, Alabama. I mentioned that Austin remaining undefeated. They're going to be able to prepare for their next week's opponent is going to be none other than the Crimson Panthers of Huntsville. Huntsville will prepare for Austin. That'll be a big game for the Panthers, big game for Austin as well to keep their undefeated streak alive as well in Class 7A Region 4. All right, we're going to go to a few plays of the week and show you what we have in store for you to vote for. And this is play number 1, folks. It is none other than an amazing catch. How he caught this, I do not know, but he did for Lauderdale County. Just an amazing grab. Literally, it was like behind the back of the defender, and he still concentrated to haul that in. He got it, and he got a pass interference called there. Play number 2. It's going to be Geraldine's running back. You see 1 tackle, you see 2 tackles, and then he's going to come right into your cell phone, your smart device for the score there. Play number 3. Going to be a one-hopper, punt returner for the Wildcats of Westminster Christian Academy. Through the middle of the field, going to score. Your 3 nominees right now: Lauderdale County, Geraldine, Westminster Christian. You can vote right now. Yes, right now. Here's how. Head over to waff.com/play of the week. Our voting is live right now. You can vote through the weekend. You can vote all the way through Wednesday. We close voting Wednesday afternoon at 3, and then we announce our winner during Wednesday night's newscast. Been a great Friday night and Thursday night of high school football. Want to send a big shout out once again to our sponsor, Alabama Concrete. They do an outstanding job, and we really truly appreciate Alabama Concrete joining us yet again for another high school football season. We had kind of a 2-day affair here for week 5. Thursday night had a handful of games, as you just saw on our 48 Blitz OT scoreboard. And then, of course, we had our normal slate of games tonight as well. But as I mentioned, this week was all about non-region games. So teams were playing in and out of classification. So, for example, you may have a 7A playing a 6A. You may have a 4A playing a 2A. You may have a 1A playing a 3A. But starting next week, it's going to get a little hot. Got to get ready to play. Teams vying for playoff berths. Each region will have 4 representatives from their regions, regions 1 through regions 8, from 1A to 7A. 7A is the only classification that only has 4 regions because they are the top 32 teams in the state. When I mean by top, the most student enrollment per high school within the state of Alabama. So that's where they stand alone in the top 32 in the state. So, yep, we're getting right back into the playoff run and playoff hunt, rather, next week as teams look to get all important big wins to try and improve their seeding and kind of stay a little steady in that respective playoff run. Got to send a big shout out once again, because I'm going to always do it because they make this ugly mug look good each and every week. Thank you, Katie. Thank you, Clark. Thank you, Tyler. Yeah, as Tyler holds his hand up like, don't forget about me, man. They're in the Starship Enterprise in there, all those computers and stuff. There's a lot of buttons and a lot of very important things in there that I do not want to touch, but they are part of what makes this show super amazing. Whether it's our 48 Blitz show on WAFF or it's our 48 Blitz OT show that you may be watching right now. Truly appreciate them. I truly appreciate Javon Williams and AJ Weiss and Stephen Gallion and all of our managers and all of our photographers and all our reporters, because all of them, yes, all of them in some way or form have been a part of why this show is successful each and every Friday night. They do a lot. They go shoot football games for yours truly in this team. We're all a team, and we try to deliver the best high school football games to you each and every week. Wouldn't be possible without all of those amazing men and women. Folks, that's going to do it for us. You know what it is tomorrow. Listen, Starship Enterprise, I just want this camera on me really quick because I just need to give a PSA for all of our significant. They just said I was selfish. This is just a PSA. I want you to go back to the double box and see if you agree. Just give me a thumbs up once I finish this diatribe. There are some big college football games tomorrow. Anyone that has significant others and you got honey-do lists, you got something you got to do, listen, get it out of the way early in the morning. Get it out of the way. The Auburn Tigers are hosting the Oklahoma Sooners inside Jordan-Hare Stadium for the first time in program history. A monster game. So many storylines. It is going to be incredible. The crowd will be rocking inside Jordan-Hare Stadium tomorrow. Then there's a game at 6:30 inside Bryant-Denny Stadium. Top 5 battle. 2 teams that have played a ton of times over the last 5 years plus. SEC championships have been on the line. National championships have been on the line. Georgia makes the trek to Bryant-Denny Stadium to take on the Crimson Tide of Alabama. It will be rocking inside that stadium. It's going to be a fun atmosphere out there for sure. We got so many other college football games across the country that have so much meaning as well. Get your stuff done. Go ahead and get your grill going in the morning. If you're trying to smoke some Boston butts, you're trying to get your rack of ribs on there, you're trying to get your half chickens and stuff on there, get that going. So then by mid-afternoon, you can just sit down, you can relax, watch those 74 TVs you got in your house, and you can just enjoy the week. Enjoy the Saturday night football games, enjoy the afternoon football games. Do you agree, Starship Enterprise? Do y'all want to thumbs up, everybody? Yep, that's what I thought. So that's all I'm saying. I'm just like, look, why not? Just get it out of the way. Just get it out of the way. Yours truly will be in Bryant-Denny Stadium tomorrow night. We'll have a recap on our Sunday morning show. Claudia Peppenhorst and Matthew King will give you a recap, courtesy of yours truly, on Sunday morning. My teammate Cam Durr, she will be down at Auburn for that huge game between the Sooners and Tigers. We'll have a recap of that contest coming up tomorrow night in sports. So a busy, busy weekend. And then, of course, you got the NFL on Sunday. What else can you ask for? And I know a lot of you all are out on fall break. Anyone's got the kiddos, all of our amazing teachers and administrators across the valley, you got the whole week off. Let's get it started on the right note. Get your stuff done. Get all your stuff done. Your significant other needs you to go do something in the yard, go do it. Just get it out of the way. It'll be a happy existence inside your respective homes. That's all I got. Did that sound like a love doctor or anything in there, y'all? Clark? Katie? Tyler? No? I'm just trying to help. I'm just here to help. That's all. You feel, Clark Simcox goes, I feel so much better, Carl. Thank you. All right, folks, we're going to get out of here. Listen, I know you're tired of me talking. Listen, thank you all so much for watching. We truly appreciate you joining us each and every Friday. We get ready for week 6. We'll announce our game of the week next Monday as well as we move on. Region play back in the fold next week. 48 Blitz OT is out. Have a great weekend. Enjoy all of the games, and we'll see you back here next Friday.